I believe we're finally starting to see some cracks in the old Nvidia juggernaut. You saw, as I did, that yesterday morning may have been sort of the last gasp of the mania between SMCI and Dell and Nvidia and SMH and all the rest of it. And we had a really nice fade yesterday. And today, at the moment, we're red across the board, although not by much, just a little bit. And so here we sit right at that midline of the spider. The cubes are down a little bitty bit, 0.14%. So here are the cubes, and we peaked on this one pretty much on Monday. Tuesday, we just kind of hung out in that same vicinity, had a nice little reversal yesterday, and we're sinking just a touch right now. And as I've said, there are gaps all over the place as our first test. If we got some serious selling going, which serious means anything greater than 100th of a percentage point, the key would be to slip below this gap right here. That'd be a very encouraging sign. Nvidia, which is a stock no one bothered uttering a few years ago, but now it has become the global equity market. Everything hinges not on the Fed, not on interest rates, not on the world economy. It hinges on what used to be an obscure maker of graphics cards. So here's Nvidia. I don't know if they're still the world's biggest company. They've slipped 3% today. Maybe they've slipped under Apple again. Who cares? But there we have it. Got some very unfamiliar red here. Nothing core has changed in the chart. We're still within the confines of a very wide channel, and it could fall so much that the entire earth would be panicking and it would still be neatly within the confines of this channel. But we have definitely blown some of the froth off here. So Tuesday was the lifetime close. Yesterday was the lifetime intraday high. And so today, as I said, we've basically unwound. We've jumped back to last Friday, so. Net just really have gone nowhere fast with a huge amount of trading volume, but nothing to show for it. In turn, SMH is down about 1.25% right now. We are again beneath the channel. The rally had been so strong. Tuesday and Thursday, we were above that. We were back in the channel. Now we're back under it again. So we're playing jump rope here with that lower resistance line. And it is still resistance now. We've been repelled out of there. Even ARM, which has been incredibly strong, fell yesterday and today, although it has held support here. Let's just change that to green to suggest that as support. That green line, all it was is the former lifetime high. We bested it last week, and we've remained above it ever since. We got quite close to breaking it today, but did not do so. This still is completely intact. I would also make mention as an aside, AMD had a bizarre rally yesterday, but it sealed up this price gap. It has basically sunk to a level that makes net 1 week change pretty much nil. DJT, I'm only showing because it's a very curious creature. In fact, I tweeted out, it kind of looks like the McDonald's riches right here. So this, of course, is tied up with a lot of political passions and emotions. It's a very interesting creature because it trades tens of millions of shares on its heavier days. And it's just this giant bouncing ball. This is a sweeping motions. Kind of an interesting creature. I'm not going to get into it. I don't dare talk about anything to do with what's behind it or anything like that. It's just an interesting political psychosocial phenomena. And as a chart, it's a very interesting critter because it's been bouncing these huge sweeps between 20 and 60/70, doing so. These sort of support equals zero stocks continue to be interesting. Here's Unity again, which, as you can see, it's green at the moment, but it has continued to make progress week to week, slipping beneath that topping pattern. I can't make this go to zero to really stress the point, but the idea is basically that, just to encourage you again to not get fooled by the fact that a stock is either at the top or the bottom of its own chart. The same can be said for this one, QS, which is earlier in that process of slipping below. So if you felt you missed Unity, maybe QS is worth a look because it's a very similar pattern, but it hasn't really started descending to the basement. From time to time, I like to touch on crypto. The BTC, which is the king of them all, the blue chip of the crypto world, has slipped about $10,000 over the past 3 months. It had been in a very persistent rally from the depths of the FTX blowup in November of 2022. It got down to around 15,000 and had this tremendous rainbow bound descent and peaked mid-March at approaching almost 75,000. Tremendous multi-100% gain. In order to come up with another reason why people should continue to be enthusiastic, everyone started talking about the halvening, the notion being that, boy, once that happens, it's going to get even juicier. And the halvening did happen, I think, on April 16, and it's been just kind of slip sliding since then, really going nowhere fast. So yeah, the thrill's gone at the moment. We're still, I haven't drawn it that high, but we're still kind of within the rainbow here, so it's not the end of the world. You've definitely seen the fervor die down in that whole space. On a little more physical objects, precious metals are weak. And here's GLD down over 1.5%. The key support here is right along there, 210.71. If we can break that, then my long-stated goal of getting to 2,100 or so on gold per ounce is a little more feasible. Could happen. It's going to take some real selling to get there, but I would love to see that because my view is that we'll find very strong support at anything that begins with a 2 and a 1 on the gold itself. This is the GC, kind of shows this more broadly, and you can see that tremendous many year green saucer that's formed, and we burst out of there, and we've been consolidating for a few months. And I just like a big old dip, if you don't mind. Silver also is down today, much harder percentage-wise, about 4%. We had a nice rally yesterday. We actually managed to cut above this resistance, but we're starting to sink again. And it's got its own support too, round about that green tent. And failing that red trend line you see there. So selling is going on there. And between now and the election or the end of the year, I'm hoping we'll have a nice buying opportunity in that. It's going to take some patience, though. We're only halfway through the year, obviously. While we're talking about commodities, just a mention of USO. A little bit weak on this one. We've had a nice bounce the past couple of weeks, but I dare say this is going to re-weaken, and I'm not trading oil, but I'm going to use this as a segue into what, by happy coincidence, is the first position alphabetically on my short holdings, which is also energy related. This is APA. Got into this today in a big way. And I'm out of things that rhyme with A. So this is AP like so, and we've got a nice right triangle here. These are good, tight bid-ask spreads in the options, and I just like the look of this chart. And I think it's completely plausible that we could, in the months ahead, work our way down to that green dashed line that I've drawn. So the support has failed on this, and this is a new position, one of like 9 I've got right now. Let's thumb through the others in the time we've got left. And by their nature, these are my favorite bearish positions. Here's DraftKings. This is new for the week. So far, so good. We've got a nice, in fact, I think this was new yesterday. Yeah, I mentioned this is a new one yesterday. Down 3 1/3% right this second. Yay. It was a little annoying because the pattern I had been looking at was kind of along these lines, which we obviously got well past. And so we went zipping higher. So I kind of went out on a limb yesterday, and it's working out so far because I'm sort of counting on this broken trend line to be a broader guide to that. So DraftKings looking good. KeyCore also down about 0.8%, starting to slip below that little reversal pattern there. On semiconductor, annoyingly strong right now, but it has not broken above the gap. That's the key. It's got to stay below the gap, so it's okay. Royal Caribbean, RCL, unchanged at the moment. Zooming in like so. The big event would be a failure of this trend line. The cubes still have a position that took a fifth off the table today, taking advantage of some of the weakness, but hanging on there for at least a move back to this gap like so. Pretty much unchanged at the moment, still below that very good looking topping pattern. Shopify, actually, as I said yesterday, sometimes these lists get a little outdated before the show. I took profits on this. I'm out of it, but I still think it's a good-looking chart on the short side. And United has been doing terrific. This is UAL. As you can see, as of this moment, it has broken and completed the pattern, right? That pink right there. So we're at the lowest levels we've seen since back on April 17. And that's great. Hanging on, looking really good. That's just what I was hoping to see.